Good evening, Black people and all allies fighting for Black liberation, Black prosperity, and Black joy. I'm Nayyera Haq in for Charles Blow. Welcome to Prime. Now, you may have heard of police officers and their unions resisting vaccine mandates. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and other major cities have made it clear that officers who refuse to vaccinate should not bother to report for duty. Police and fire unions argue that mandates cause labor shortages, increasing the risk for the rest of the force. Mayors and others who believe in science argue that getting vaccinated is part of the job of keeping the public safe. While the unions debate this logic, the #1 killer of police officers this year is the coronavirus. During an appearance on CNN, Dr. Fauci spoke specifically about vaccinations and cops.
That more police officers have died from COVID-19 disease than from gunshots and violence in their jobs. So it really is a considerable risk for people, particularly people like police officers who put themselves out every day on the front line in public.
Let's zoom in on Seattle, where 170 police officers and firefighters have deemed ineligible to report for duty. Around a dozen first responders opted to resign and decided to protest by leaving their boots on the steps of City Hall to show, quote, the scope of the loss to the departments, end quote. Folks, that scope, about 3% of the department. Now, prior to the protest, they decided to perform a service by providing breakfast to unhoused individuals in the community, all without wearing masks, without being vaccinated. Let's be clear, those police would rather perform public safety than actually do public safety. Joining us to discuss the police and vaccine mandates are retired LAPD Sgt. Cheryl Dorsey and retired Chief of Seattle Police and author of Black in Blue, Carmen Best. Chief Best is out with a new book. It's Black and Blue, Lessons on Leadership, Breaking Barriers, and Racial Reconciliation. Chief Best, let's start with you, since we were just mentioning your old turf. What do we make of the fact that 3% of the police officers and firefighters there thought it better to turn their badges in rather than get a shot?
Well, honestly, I feel very sad about it because, as Dr. Fauci said, COVID-19, the coronavirus, has killed more officers than any other thing, than gunshot wounds or vehicular accidents. So it only makes sense that we would have officers vaccinated. They're on the front lines, meeting so many people in the public on a daily basis. And part of our jobs, part of their jobs is, put on bulletproof vests and handcuffs and handguns and pepper spray and body-worn camera, all these protective devices to help them do their jobs better. So why wouldn't they take the one shot that could help them protect potentially thousands of lives? Many times officers put themselves at risk for other people. And here we have an opportunity to render ourselves safer for others. So I'm very sad that these folks have decided that they would rather walk away from these positions than to take the shot to better protect themselves, their families, and their colleagues. But it is their choice at the end of the day.
Sergeant Dorsey, let's bring you in on this, because I'm wondering what's the common element here in people who have decided not to get vaccinated, who are anti-masking, who also may be anti-police reform?
Well, as a 20-year patrol officer, I think the common denominator is that they're just not trusting of command staff and what they say. Listen, we know that command staff officers, we've seen our police chiefs and our captains tell us to do one thing and then do something completely different. Here in Los Angeles, our police chief had made a video very recently for the troopers to go out and wear your mask on duty, off duty. And then we see him at a Dodgers game on the Jumbotron doing what? Not wearing a mask. And so you can't speak out of one side of your mouth and promote something and then you do something else and then penalize police officers by taking them out of the field. I find it very interesting that supervisors administrators can figure out very swiftly how to get a police officer out of the field, make them ineligible for patrol because they won't take a vaccine. But when you have a Derek Chauvin with a dozen personnel complaints, or Garrett Roth with a dozen personnel complaints, end up using deadly force on someone, they don't see the need to get those people out of the field, to get them out of the public spectrum, if you will, to put those officers on the desk. And so I think they're very hypocritical.
Yeah, I would agree
Chief Best,
with I was going to say, I would agree with the sergeant that, people really can't be hypocritical about what they're doing when they're leading an organization. You do have to lead by example. I will, say that most of the mandates, my understanding is that they're not coming from the chief so much as they are, at least in Seattle, I could say from the mayor and from the governor. So the chief did not weigh in on the decision for city employees to have to be vaccinated for their positions. That said, I absolutely agree. You have to lead from the front. And so if you're not doing that, you're going to lose your troops.
And Chief Best, let's stay with you for a moment, because as you mentioned, these are citywide mandates, and we saw footage from New York City of a passenger on a train asking the police officers, please mask up, and instead of complying with what is city law, they decided to pick him up and haul him out of the train station, effectively, removing him for asking a basic question. So is there a broader cultural problem here of the rules apply to thee, but not to me in policing?
We always run across that potential. You have literally 80,000 law enforcement officers across the country. And quite frankly, some of them, at times do violate policy, do believe that the badge, gives them extra authority to do certain things when it doesn't, and that's why we have accountability systems in place so we can, when those things happen, that we can address them appropriately. Those people can be appropriately penalized or disciplined when those things occur. Clearly, we don't want people arrested or handcuffed for asking an officer to put on a mask, which they're required to do.
Sergeant Dorsey, what is it, though, about the vaccines that really seems to have people across the political spectrum, but particularly on the right, really riled up and thinking of this as the new frontier of freedom?
Well, I can't get in their head and speak to their heart, but what we do know is that some of this does have a political bend to it, if you will. We know that there were police officers who were at the insurrection on January 6th who are Trump supporters. We saw them in the crowds attacking other police officers, beating them with Blue Lives Matter flags and poles. And so if these are some of these officers are Trump supporters, are of that same mindset, are part of the big lie, then you understand why there's so many of them who are unwilling at this point to do what's being asked of them, because they don't believe, they don't trust, and they have a political mindset that precludes them from doing what's being asked.
Yeah,
Chief Best, how dangerous is it that we have police officers that are more willing to believe a former president than comply with direct orders from their command or the rules of their own cities?
Yeah, that is completely dangerous, not something any of us wants to see. And so I would agree that for those that would be involved in that and have that type of thinking, there's no place for them in policing. I will say that I think that 3%, while it's too many, it's a relatively small fraction of the officers. When consider 80,000, 3% is a small fraction of the folks who won't comply with the vaccine mandates. And one of the things that we discovered in Seattle was quite a few of those folks who aren't complying and don't want the vaccine. Quite a few are women and people of color. And I think that part of that is just the history of, that we know exists, particularly for African Americans, but for others, when we are mandated to participate. And so there's some of that legacy hesitancy left as well. So the number of folks, while they might be, those that are Trump supporters and taking a political bent, there are some as well who genuinely are concerned about, what they're taking.
Interestingly enough, in the protest that we saw in the video we saw, I didn't see any black female police officers. It did seem to be a largely white police officer crowd protesting. But you raise an important point about the way we frame this, right? We focus on the 3%. We focus on the ones who aren't doing. 97% of any population doing what they're supposed to do is a really good thing. So, Sergeant Dorsey, where do you see hope in policing going forward?
Well, listen, I think this is a great opportunity for folks who look like me to get on these police departments. We know, according to the FBI and DOJ report, that KKK and white supremacists have been infiltrating police departments for decades. And so if you have officers who have the time, tenure, and grade to retire, because they're not just quitting. You know, we saw a 22-year veteran of a police department very recently do his last radio call because of his refusal to get a COVID vaccination. So this is a great time for minorities to get on these police departments and start having people who look like us out there to be able to make a difference in the field, in patrol, on these radio calls. And I say good riddance to those that want to go.
Yeah, I would agree that. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say I would agree that if they don't want to comply, it is time for them to go. But it is always, always a good time for people of color and women to join the police force. Yeah, always. We're always looking for diversity and police forces that reflect the community that we serve.
Well, every industry is better with diversity, and police are no exception. So this is an opportunity to change the system from the inside out. Former Police Chief Carmen Best and Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, thank you both for your time tonight.